So, welcome to lecture 4, Introduction to Object Oriented Programming. So, in the last few lectures, we talked about the classes and objects in C++. So, we have run several codes, and now what is the syntax in Java? Right, another object oriented programming called Java. So, we are going to see the syntax. As I already defined, when you define a class, the only difference is in C++ you have a semicolon, right. So, if I am writing the C++ same the class, I have to put a semicolon over here, right. So, whereas you should not put a semicolon in Java. So, that is the first difference in the class. Rest of them almost similar. So, you can see I have imported several functions, utility, lang and input output. Alright. So, here you have class car. Car is the name of the class. Alright. So, under this you have two data member. Alright. So, here you have a data member, one is brand under string, another one is year under integer. Alright. So, you have two data members, one is brand, another one is year, one is string, another one is integer. Right. So, here we call this as a method, right. So, this is a method. In C++, we call it is member function. So, in Java, it is nothing but a method, right. So, this display info is a method. Whereas, in the last few lectures in C++, we call this as a member function. Both are equivalent. So, I call this in C++. Right. So, here you have a method called display info, more or less similar. Right. So, syntax is cout. We used to write cout in C++, and in Java it is system.out.println. ln stands for new line, right. System.out.println. So, there you use cout. The same syntax in C++, we write like this cout brand, and then you put endl. Right, exactly the same syntax. This is the similar syntax in C++. Similar syntax in C++. And in Java, you have system.out.println. This is like code you are writing. We can write in C also. That is understood. I did not write it. In the code you are writing, whatever you are writing in the code will be printed. And then you have plus symbol and brand. Alright. So, exactly similar. We have already seen several C++ syntax. So, you are now familiar. So, cout brand endl equivalent. And similarly, we are printing system.out.println year, right, system.out.println year, and what is the year, correct. So, we have two member data and you have one member function. The class is over, the class is called car, right. The car class has two member data. In fact, I have to call data member in Java, and method display info, which is equivalent to member function in C++. So, now this is the driver class, right, which is having main. Whenever you are having a main in Java, you call this as a driver class, right. So, you can find the main, right. So, you can find the main, correct. So, this main is name of the class capital M, and here like a void main or int main when you are writing in C++. Alright. So, here you have void main, rest of the thing we will see in the due course. Right now, no need to worry because our focus is on class and object. Alright. So, here in Java, because it is dynamic in nature, so when you are creating an object, right, when you are creating an object, so my car is an object, and then dynamically we have to allocate a memory, or automatically it will be allocated when you write new. And the next one is slowly I am introducing this constructor, right. So, here my car is object, alright, and here you have class, the new operator. We will take one example in the case of array, right, and here this is first time we are seeing, this is called constructor. Anyway, we will define constructor extensively, right. Suppose I declare, let us assume in C++, int a of 10, right, array of 10 elements, static array. So, what about a dynamic array? If I ask you to create a dynamic array, what will you do? Int star a, right, a equal to new int of 10. Alright. So, you might have used this new operator while creating a dynamic array. This is a dynamic array in C++. Right. So, this is a static array. So, in the case of Java, everything is dynamic. Suppose I want to write the same code. So, this is a C++ code. So, in Java, what you will do? You use like this int array notation, instead of pointer, I will put this int a, and then you are writing a equal to new int of 10, same, almost the same code except the star, right. So, this is in the case of Java. So, in Java, everything we have to talk in terms of dynamic, right. This is ruled out. I cannot declare like this in Java, right. So, similarly, when I have this the object, my car, you have object and a car is the class. Now, I have given some example of new in C++. So, dynamically create a memory. The new will dynamically create a memory. So, my car, my capital C, yeah. So, object. So, this object will be located in some address, right. So, here in Java we call that is a identity hash map. I will write completely identity hash map. You call it as address in C++, right. So, here is a identity hash map. So, some address, let us say 0x732EF, something like that. So, in this address your my car object, right, will be stored, right. And line number 27 and 28 we have the data members brand, my car dot brand. So, I give some brand name and my car dot year 2024. So, now my car is invoking display info, my car object which is invoking, so dot operator same, exactly same what we have studied in C++, my car dot operator display info, right. So, when it calls, so you can see that brand is Kia and year is 2024, right. So, that will be printed system dot out dot println, we want to print these two values brand and year. So, when I run the code, I will get this as the output, all right. So, car brand is Kia and year is 2024. So, we will see. Now, I introduce, I will use escape, I will go to the Eclipse program. If you open Eclipse, right. So, Java, this is called Java Eclipse, this environment is called Java Eclipse. So, here you go, the same program that I have written. So, here you have class car, right. So, here you have class car. Class car has two member data or data member, brand and year, right. And then you have a method called display info, correct, line number 15 to 18. Then when you come to the main program, we call it as main 1, right. So, we have car, car is the class and my car is the object, right. So, we are creating, we are instantiating an object called my car under class car and a new operator and you have a constructor. So, line number 28 and 29, the my car which is having two data member is getting the value, right. My car dot brand is Kia and my car dot year is 2024. So, now in line number 32, my car is invoking display info, right. My car is invoking display info. When it is invoking display info, it goes line number 15, and there are two printout statement, right, two print statement, system.out.println, car brand, so brand value. What is the brand name? Kia. And system.out.println year is 2024. So, when I run this code, alright, so here you can go here and then run this code, you can see the output in the bottom. Car brand is Kia and year is 2024. So, this is under Java Eclipse. So, you can install Java Eclipse, right, and then it is a good compiler for Java compiler. So, you can run the code. So, this is in-house. You can install this in your machine or in your computer, and then you start running this code, right. So, more or less we had seen the objects and classes extensively. We saw in C++, I have introduced Java. So, you can write the basic programs in Java as well, right. So, at one point of time I will introduce all the programs, right, or all the concepts with the help of both C++ and Java, and at one point of time, right. So, we will follow only C++. So, it is understood both are almost same, right. So, once you get that feeling, so you can start writing the code only in C++, but whenever there is a difference or some of the functionalities available only in C++, not in Java or vice versa. So, that point of time I will talk about that, right. So, now the next concept is inheritance in C++. So, extensively I talked about the code reusability in the last few classes, right. So, that means somebody has written class A, right, and I am the new user, I have written class B. So, can I use some properties of class A? Yes, you can do that. That is called as a inheritance. That means B is taking the properties of A, right. So, one of the key feature in OOP, inheritance is one of the key feature in OOP. So, in this case A will be called as a base class, A will be called as a base class, and B will be called as a derived class. So, B is using all the properties of A, right, unless otherwise I talked about this access modifier, right. When we slowly I introduce the private and public. When everything is public, assume that all the member data and member functions are public, B can use. If it is private, only A can use, right. So, you cannot do the derivation, alright. So, those things we will talk once I introduce the access modifiers, right, like public, private, protected, etc., right. So, right now we know what is meant by inheritance. So, B can use all the properties of A, right, if it is publicly available. So, one you call it as a base class, another one is the derived class. So, that means B can reuse the code. That means that may contain a member function, that may contain a member data. So, you are establishing a relationship between the classes, right. So, also you might have studied function overloading, right, in the basic programming, like a procedural oriented programming, function overloading. When I introduce the class and objects, so we have another concept called function overriding. So, this can be achieved with the help of inheritance. So, these are all the basic features of inheritance in C++. So, what are all the different types of inheritance in C++? So, this I have told, right. So, class B is using the property of class A, and class B is using the property of class A. This is a notation. You have an arrow. So, that means class B is using, let us say, the data member and member functions, or member data and member functions. So, that inheritance is termed as single inheritance, or you can also call it as a simple inheritance. Now, you are extending. So, can I have 3 classes? Can class B inherit class A and class C inherit class B? The answer is yes. You can do. You call this as a multi-level inheritance. You can have A, B, C, D, E, F up to Z, right. So, here B is inheriting class A and class C is inheriting class B. You call this concept as multi-level inheritance. And similarly, now assume that you have 3 classes, class A, class B and class C, right. So, class C can use the properties of class A and class B, right. Class C, they can use the properties of class A and class B, two classes, alright. You call it as multiple inheritance. This is a concept of multiple inheritance. We have a notation, we will see, alright. So, this is called the multiple inheritance. And similarly, you have hierarchical inheritance. Class B is using the property of class A and class C can also use the properties of class A, right. Or other words, class B can be derived from class A and class C can also be derived from class A. In the previous case, multiple inheritance, class C is derived from both class A and class B, that is the meaning, right. So, you can say other way around, it can use the properties. Otherwise, when I talk in terms of base class and derived class, the multiple inheritance, class A and class B are the base classes and class C is the derived class, alright. So, class C can be derived from class A and class B and you call this as a multiple inheritance, right. Here class A is the base class and class B and class C are the derived classes. So, that is also possible, right. Class B and class C are derived from class A. You call this as a hierarchical. And the last one is you have this, we call it as hybrid inheritance, right. This is called hybrid inheritance, right. So, you can see both hierarchical and multiple, the combination of hierarchical and multiple, right. The multiple plus hierarchical, you call this as a hybrid inheritance, right. So, for example, here class B and class C, they are derived from class A. So, class A is the base class, right. So, these are all I put D1 and D2. Derived classes. D1 is a derived class 1 and D2 is a derived class 2, right. And now class D, right, I will put D1 2. So, now this will become derived class. Which are all the base classes? Class B and class C. So, when you do all together whatever the inheritance that we had seen in the previous slide, that are nothing but multiple inheritance and hierarchical inheritance. So, the combination is hybrid, right. So, in C++, we have all these features in the case of inheritance. So, you may have single inheritance like this, you may have multi-level inheritance like this, you have multiple inheritance, you have hierarchical, the combination of multiple plus hierarchical, you will have, right, multiple plus hierarchical, you have hybrid inheritance. So, these are all 5 different inheritances which is available in C++. Whereas, when I am comparing with Java, Java does not have this multiple inheritance, right. C++ you can see all are there, C++ you have all are there, whereas in Java you do not have multiple inheritance. The moment you do not have multiple inheritance, we know multiple plus hierarchical is hybrid, right. So, which obviously hybrid also will not be available, right, naturally, right. So, we have seen the last diagram of in C++. In C++, all the inheritance are available, whereas in Java, we do not have multiple inheritance in terms of class. So, right now we have class only. So, in Java, we have a concept called interface, right. So, once we study, in fact, we are going to study interface. So, when I introduce interface, we will have the concept of multiple inheritance, alright. So, right now, in terms of class, we do not have the concept of multiple inheritance in Java. So, naturally you do not have hybrid inheritance also in Java. So, C++ point of view, we have all these 5 inheritance. So, now we will see an example in both C++ and Java, alright. So, you have in the base class, you have we, right, we call it as a base class, we is a base class. So, we call it as A, right, because we discuss about A and B, right. So, this class has one member data, right, we are in C++ now, one member data called brand and we have one member function called show brand, right. The show brand is just displaying Cout brand, right. So, this is under vehicle. So, this contains brand, that is a member data, and it has another one that is called member function which is called show brand. So, you can write like this. So, one is brand, another one is show brand, one is a data member, another one is a function, member function, right. So, what is the derived class? We will see another class. So, another class is car, class car. So, this is the syntax now, how you are going to derive. Class car, we are going to publicly derive. Still, I have not introduced this access modifier, we will see slightly later. So, right now, we have to worry about how it is being inherited, right. So, vehicle now it is a base class. This is a way class car colon, right. You put public, private or protected. These are all the access modifier. Right now without loss of generality we put public. We will see the meaning slightly later, right. So, this is how the syntax go for inheritance. So, car is the derived class, vehicle is the base class. So, I will just go back to the previous slide, I will write car here, right. So, that is B. So, since I put the syntax like this, so now I am eligible to draw an arrow. That means car can inherit the properties of vehicle, right. So, that means it can use brand because it is in public, it can use brand, it can use show brand. Suppose you are right under car, you have an object, let us say car C1. So, this C1 can use, right. So, or can access brand and show brand, that is the meaning, right. Anyway, we will see that how we are going to do that. So, right now the diagram is clear, all right. A is the base class and B is the derived class. A is the vehicle, car is the derived class, B is the derived class. That means car is the derived class. So, that means car can access both brand and show brand, right. So, now this car class that itself is having one member data which is called model, right, whereas here you have brand, here you are naming as model, right. So, string model. So, model that belongs to car, right, this member data belong to car and you have one more member function, right, that is under car. We have used a member function under vehicle, one more member function line number 19, it is under car, you have show model. So, show model will display model, right. What is a model, right, a number, all right. So, here you have model is a string, model is a string, line number 17 you have model. So, string will be displayed. So, we will go to the main program. So, main program you have my car which is an object, right, my car is an object. So, this is coming under object car, right. So, my car is an object, this is coming under class car, all right. So, I will go back again the inheritance scenario. Car is the derived class which is the base class vehicle, right. So, under this class car I have an object called my car, right. So, now my car dot brand, right. So, my car dot brand, where is brand is available in base class, yes, this can access. So, now under this I have an object called my car. So, this my car can access both brand and show brand, right. So, that is why you have line number 28. So, this is a valid statement, there won't be any error. My car dot brand, brand is available in base class, yes. And next one is my car dot model, model is already available in derived class. So, it is not a problem, the usual class and object that we had seen, right. So, this is also clear, that is a usual one. Now, my car dot show brand is available in base class, alright. So, this can access your my car, the object my car under car can access show brand, no problem, because it is concept of inheritance, right. So, show brand, and the next one is my car dot show model is already available in the derived class, right. So, now, so I have my car dot brand is Toyota, my car dot model is Corolla, right. So, now what will happen if I invoke, I mean to say my car, the object my car is invoking show brand, right. What is happening? Show brand, you will go to the show brand, right. So, that will display brand, see out brand. So, what is brand I passed? So, brand is nothing but Toyota, my car dot brand as Toyota. So, the Toyota will be printed as a first input, right, under line number 31. If you look at line number 32, my car dot show model, right. So, show model, what is model? Corolla, right. So, when you go over here, the show model function, because it is invoking, if you look at line number 32, it is invoking my car object is invoking show model. So, show model, when you look over here, model will be displayed. What is your model? Corolla. So, Corolla will be displayed, right. So, both Toyota and Corolla will be displayed as output, and if you look at, if you run the code, right. So, you have to get these two as a output. So, we will see the C++ code, right, for whatever we have written, we will see the C++ code. Now, go to the CPP code, code7.cpp, right, the same code that I have written, all right. So, here you can have class vehicle which is the base class, Line number 5, you have class vehicle, which is a base class, right. So, you have string brand and void show brand, right. And similarly, you have class car, which is a derived class. Line number 15, you have derived class, right. So, under line number 15, again you have, right, one string called model and you have one member function, right. So, base class is also having one data member and member function. So, here also you are having one member data and member function, right. So, these things we had already seen. So, now if you go to the main program, my car is an object and car is the class. So, my car dot brand is Toyota and my car dot model is Corolla, and my car is invoking show brand and my car is invoking show model, right, which is possible, right. So, those things we have seen in the theory, and now if I run the code, compile and run, right. So, you can see the output. So, we are getting brand Toyota and model Corolla, right. So, this is how your CPP program is running for the single inheritance, right. So, this is the output. In fact, we got the same output you can see in the program also. So, now in the next class, the same single inheritance program we will run in Java. Okay. So, with this I am concluding this lecture. Thank you very much.